Like, why would you want to take a video of an animal that's dying from what you did?
Right now at 11, heartbreak and outrage as the owners of a beloved pet demand answers after they watch their cat suffer in their own front yard. Plus, it may look like a video game, though it's a new kind of training for local first responders. And later,
I just can't say enough my gratitude for those that saved me.
As a hiker in the gorge survives a 300-foot fall. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molka. We begin at 11 with Salem police investigating a case of animal abuse after a family says its cat was targeted by a group of teens who watched their pet suffer and then left her for dead. A warning, much of this was recorded on video and many of the details are disturbing. Alma McCarty joins us in the newsroom after speaking with the cat's owners. Alma.
David, it is tough to watch and it's tough to imagine why anyone would go after this cat. Its owners, the Steele family, tell me they thought their neighborhood was safe and didn't think twice about letting their animals outside. Now they're concerned for the safety of all pets until someone's held responsible.
Caught on camera, an incident in southeast Salem so disturbing, we're choosing not to show the video in full.
It was like a group of 5 of them. And then after just, what was it, like 30, 40 seconds of her struggling?
So disturbing, Jesse Steele cannot bear to watch the recording of his cat, Vortex, and her final moments.
They finally came back and shot her again.
Mom Daylene did watch and shared the details with her family. The senselessness of what she saw, leaving her speechless.
People took advantage of her trust.
The video, recorded around 2:30 Friday morning, appears to show a group of young people noticing the friendly cat on the corner. After a short time, another person joins them. He pulls out what appears to be some type of long-barreled gun. We'll pause the video here, then shoots the cat.
She was flopping on the ground, and then there were like 5 different kids who were just like this around her with their phones taking videos, as if it was some entertainment.
About a minute later, the same person takes a second point-blank shot.
It was right there. They just... I don't know.
The video shows the 5 young people leaving. Moments later, they return, picking up the cat's lifeless body and moving it, the Steeles say, to a neighbor's yard.
They thought no one was going to be awake to discover that. We had the cameras and all that, but I couldn't imagine if it was someone else's house who doesn't wake up till late and didn't have cameras and all they seen was a dead cat, their dead cat, and didn't know what to do or any way to get help.
Salem police call this an open investigation into animal abuse, and Jesse hopes those responsible will be held accountable.
And you're proud of it? By taking a video like, oh, I want to show people my trophy, or I want to twistedly watch it 24/7.
Now, Salem police haven't named any suspects, and at this point they are asking any witnesses who haven't come forward to please call them through the non-emergency line. Now, Jesse and his family say they are counting on that. David?
Yeah, Alma, there are just no words here. Thank you for that story. All right, let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. A Multnomah County judge has sentenced a man to 19 years in prison for the killing of his girlfriend's father. This is a photo of the victim, James Harris. His body was found last October on Northeast Marine Drive. 24-year-old Zachary Hackman was sentenced after he pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter along with abuse of a corpse. A wrongful death lawsuit filed against Clark County over a deadly shooting by a deputy is now moving forward. In 2021, a deputy shot 30-year-old Genoa Donald during a traffic stop. He died a week later. While Donald was not armed at the time, a panel of prosecutors found the shooting was legally justified and the deputy should not face criminal charges. Today, a judge denied a motion by the county to throw out that lawsuit. And the NTSB has released its preliminary report on the Baltimore bridge crash from March. It found the container ship, the Dolly, lost power twice in the minutes before it slammed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The report says the Dolly circuit breakers unexpectedly tripped, which left that ship without propulsion. The collapse killed 6 construction workers on the bridge. Well, speaking of transportation, the U.S. Department of Justice has found Boeing has violated a settlement that came out of the deadly 737 MAX 8 crashes in 2018 and 2019. That is according to a new court filing. The $2.5 billion settlement allowed Boeing to avoid prosecution as long as it made some changes, including avoiding violating anti-fraud laws. You might remember Boeing workers were accused of deceiving FAA regulators about a flight control system on the MAX 8, one that played a role in both crashes. That agreement, by the way, was set to expire just days after January's door plug blowout on a 737 MAX 9 over Portland. The Justice Department saying it will make a decision by July on whether it plans to prosecute Boeing. All right, we haven't talked much about COVID in a while, though tonight health officials say they are closely monitoring a new variant, one that is slightly less responsive to the current COVID vaccine. Catherine Cook spoke with Oregon health officials about what you need to know. Catherine?
Well, David, after all these years and variants, they say the best, most effective thing you can do remains getting vaccinated. And if you haven't gotten the latest vaccine, they say it's not too late. And the data suggests it's more timely than ever. The nickname for the latest COVID variant is Flirt. Catchy for something you don't want to catch. The name comes from mutations of the KP2 strain. Doctors say it's now responsible for about 28% of COVID cases in the U.S. In late April, Oregon health officials recorded a new low of COVID hospitalizations at 79. But by May 7th, that number was back up to 106.
So it remains to be seen whether we'll be seeing more disease from this KP2 variant.
Dr. Paul Cieslak is medical director for communicable diseases and immunizations at the Oregon Health Authority. He says state COVID test positivity rates remain relatively low at 3.5%. That's compared to 11.7% in January and 15% in September. Cieslak notes the current vaccine seems to be slightly less effective against the Flirt variant versus the previous strain. Even so, he says getting vaccinated is critical, and it's not too late to get it.
Remember that these strains are all Omicron strains. They're all reasonably closely related. This one, does seem a little bit different, can evade immunity a little bit better, but nevertheless, the immunity against severe disease seems to have held pretty well, and certainly if you've been vaccinated recently.
Dr. Cieslak also recommends getting the new COVID vaccine when it's available this fall. Kind of like a flu shot. He says it's just another part of maintaining personal health now, especially if you're immunocompromised.
COVID is down. We're happy to see that, but it's not out. It's still circulating.
Dr. Cieslak says he's noticed more people complaining of respiratory symptoms lately, but he says it's hard to know whether it's part of a late influx of the flu, the common cold, or COVID. He says when in doubt, it is a good idea to take a COVID test. David.
Yeah, it never hurts. Thanks, Catherine. Appreciate that update. Providence has announced a campaign to significantly expand emergency and critical cardiac care at 2 Portland area hospitals, an effort which could allow them to see thousands more patients every year. Providence says the $177 million investments across St. Vincent and Providence Portland will improve wait times and care and allow for another 50,000 ER visits a year. That's the equivalent, it says, of an entirely new department.
Anybody who's working in an ED in town knows that EDs are full. Lobbies are full, and sometimes ambulances need to go to other places, and none of us like that. We want to be open all the time to be able to take care of the next people.
According to the Oregon Health Authority, ER wait times in 2022 averaged about 40 minutes compared to 15 minutes 1 year before that. Both hospitals will remain open during the expansion and renovations, which should be complete by 2027. After 16 months of negotiations, nurses with Peace Health have now voted to ratify a new contract. This is an image from their strike back in January. The contract covers nurses who work for Sacred Heart Home Care Services and Hospice and home visit nurses. The agreement includes a 16% raise over 4 years and a one-time bonus for nurses who stick around through next year. Well, a quick election reminder, the Oregon primary is just 1 week out, Tuesday, May 21st. If you have not received a ballot, call your county elections office ASAP because you're running out of time. Ballots need to be postmarked no later than Election Day or in an official drop box by 8 p.m. that night. And join us here at KGW for special coverage of the results, including next week here on KGW News at 11. And straight ahead this Tuesday night, a Hillsborough woman's hike up Dog Mountain turns into a nightmare. How she fell 300 feet off the trail and survived. Plus, a big cat raids a family's backyard get-together. We'll show you what he or she did next.
And we'll talk about what the weather is going to do next as well. Boy, what a day today with the clear sky. We'll finish off that sunset for you. Tomorrow will be the warmest day of the week. We've got a few showers potentially over the weekend. Still looks pretty good. Next week, though, could get a bit wet.